Let's say you go to dinner with a bunch of your friends. You order the steak, the lobster, the most expensive bottle of wine. Then, when the bill comes, you tell the waiter, don't worry, I'm going to pay you next time. And then you do this every single time you go out. Eventually, that waiter is going to catch on and say, actually, today's the next time. And that's where we might be now because of, say, the 2017 tax cuts. We're talking about the federal debt. Back then, lawmakers wanted to cut taxes, but didn't want to admit how much it cost. So they played a trick. They made most of the tax cuts temporary. This allowed them to claim the cuts wouldn't permanently increase the deficit, which is the only way they could get them passed. But now those cuts are set to expire at the end of this year, and suddenly the bill is due. Now, extending those cuts would cost about $5 trillion over the next 10 years or so. Meanwhile, we're already running nearly $2 trillion deficit this year. A lot of that is because we're paying interest on the debt that we have. And interest payments on our debt are about to hit $1.3 trillion annually. It's like putting everything on a credit card and then complaining that the minimum payments are too high. So a lot of folks do have a good point about debt and overspending or undertaxing. Now, here are some of the kickers. Lawmakers are pretending that some of these cuts don't actually cost anything because they're already in place. That's like telling your landlord that keeping your apartment doesn't count as rent because you've been living there all along. This is maybe a little bit of financial gaslighting for us. Now, the reality is simple. Tax cuts for the rich created a very large budget deficit and very large debt. You can inherit $11 million today and pay no taxes on it while a teacher pays full taxes. Tax cuts without Social Security cuts or defense cuts or Medicare cuts, spending cuts increase the deficit, period. If you want to keep the tax cuts, you got to slash trillions in spending, which nobody is willing to do, or find new revenue elsewhere, which nobody wants to admit and nobody's doing. Yes, you totally should find a way of increasing taxes on capital gains or inheritances or wealth or something like that. Anyway, thought systems on social media aren't really boosting the need for higher taxes on the wealthiest 10%. They're doing the opposite. So we get a magic trick where the numbers disappear on paper, but not in real life. And that's what you're going to hear come September, probably. So if somebody tells you something is free, just check your wallet because they're stealing.